Hello, hello, it's Kevin here. So, video number 26, or letter number 26, I should say, for OET right now. My disclaimer at the start, fair use for teaching, etc., non-profit, just so nobody complains. The reason I put that, I'm going to be referring to some of the case notes. Somebody sent me these, presumably they're from somebody else. I didn't make them, so I don't want any issues with copyright here. So we have, a letter here. Okay. So let's just have a look at it first, and we'll see what we've got. So word count 247. Okay, that's not too bad. They don't really count the words in any case, but we could cut some things out here. But what I'm more interested in here is the fact that a lot of this has been copied straight from the notes, virtually word for word, and that's not good. That's not what they want you to do at all. Because if it were as easy as simply doing a copy and paste job from the case notes, then everybody would get an A grade immediately. Well, that's not the case. So, as I've mentioned before, the strategy is write the letter as if you were the recipient and you didn't have access to the notes. And then the purpose should be clear, and we should have a logical progression that tells the reader why you are writing the letter, etc. Okay, here's the criteria. So we need, for 350 plus, where's my pen? 255555. Okay, so this is going to be B. So we need to be round about here for B or above. Okie doke. So let's have a look. I'm writing to update you regarding Ms. Taylor's condition, or regarding Ms. Taylor. She's been discharged today from hospital, 10 days. Well, it's obvious you don't really need to put that. Discharged today. You don't really need to tell after 10 days of admission either, because we can work it out from the dates. This is part of the conciseness and clarity parts, just to show you the note. So purpose must be immediately clear, key information, but then conciseness. What information are you including? How effectively the case is summarized. Audience awareness, no time wasted. So it's not just about irrelevant, it's also anything that we could omit and how well it's summarized. Okay, so there's one or two things there. So, and when you do write this, these dates will be, sorry, your address will be at the top and their address will be at the, so everybody will know who it's coming kind of from. So there's no need to put our hospital, because you won't be writing from somebody else's hospital and present it to our hospital again as opposed to somebody else's. So you don't need this. All right? They like it to be concise, as concise as possible. If you can take it out and it doesn't affect the meaning, you should do so. So, writing to now, I don't know, just check. Is that Ms DiCocchio from hospital? So you're writing to Proudhurst Family Practice. So it's not the same as the clinic. Okay, that's good. So you're writing to the GP. Okay, that's clear. So, now I would have put this at the bottom, where you've got this here. Discharged, she's got an appointment for blah, 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 blah. I would have put it there. Okay. So I'm writing to update you regarding Ms. Taylor's conditions, being discharged today due to decompensated. Well, she's not being discharged, well, after the 10 days of admission. So we would take out that. Being just discharged today after being admitted for decompensated schizophrenia. because you don't need to put our hospital or 10 light days, because we can work it out from the dates, because you'll have a date, you have a date above this, today's date, etc. So Miss Taylor presented visual auditory hallucination. Now. Right. One thing, too much detail. And if you look at it, it's virtually word for word from the notes. So it's virtually word for word. So let's just, I don't want to put it on two screens. So, auditory command hallucinations telling her to harm herself. Auditory command hallucinations telling patient to harm self. Okay, same as in the notes. I thought it was so when I recognized it. When I saw it. When I saw this letter, I thought, I recognize that. Shadowy figures with grinning faces. Additional hallucinations. You are supposed to change this stuff and paraphrase it, along with delusion or delusions. She reported auditory command, shadow faces, delusions. So you could have, look, you've already put this here, right, with visual and auditory hallucination. So why do you say the same thing a second time? It's basically identical. You said presented visual and auditory hallucinations. We don't really need to know what those were as such, along with delusions. So because the person you're writing to, I believe it's just the GP. Yeah, it's just the GP, so they don't need to know that. Now, if you were writing to the mental health or the clinic, then you would tell them all this detail, Oh, she had this and that, but you're writing to the GP, so we don't really need all of this detail. Not for the GP. So she self-admitted. Okay. You come and say that, now I think, she used coke the night before, the 28th, and she self-admitted on 1st, right? So she's been doing so. She did a load of coke the night before she admitted herself, so that might be something to mention. Delusion, so you didn't include this, the author, but this is virtually identical. And then, what else have we got? Agitated and an aggressive person. Well, you mean agitated and aggressive, which is exactly the same as in the case notes. So you've paraphrased it a little, but you wouldn't say an aggressive person in any case. But we've got agitated and aggressive, it's the same. What else? Internal stimuli, thought blocking and latency. So look, it's virtually word for word. It's virtually word for word. You've copied it. What do you think the examiners, well, you, the author, whoever, what do you think the examiner is going to think of this? Okay, so that needs a bit of work, I think. So, and apart from that, you let's say, right, she had visual and auditory hallucinations, delusion, agitation, aggressiveness. You could have just put in that. So we don't need all of this anyway, and we certainly don't need it word for word. During hospitalizations, right, so why is it present perfect? It's simple past. It's finished now. She's out of hospital. Experienced less disorganized thinking and what you see. It's virtually word for word. She was trying to do activities, the visualization stops, signs of latency disappeared. Okay, so that's not too bad, but still, too much of it comes straight from the nose. As long as provide. So, nursing management help control her behavior and redirect her from delusions as well as, it means that's supposed to be as well as, in addition to, as well as providing her with therapy and assessing her signs, or these signs, or assessing her for signs of psychosis. Okay, so it's a little bit long. We could maybe cut that down a bit, but okay. It's post-discharge plan, current mental disorder. How is that per the discharge plan? So you say she's got a chronic mental disorder that decompensates if she doesn't take her treatment or abuses any drugs. Well, I think the GP would actually know that. GP. I think the GP would probably know this. Presumably, this didn't just appear out of nowhere. But again, it's not very clear. But okay, doesn't really say. Kind of, so you see, now these cases now, and I keep on saying, only use official material. Now these are obviously not. I don't know where these are from, where they've been copied out of. I've seen them on the internet, but these are not what you would. This is not the same material. I don't think that you would get with the official kind of notes. So it doesn't really explain much. That's the danger with using all this free stuff on the internet. It might not be the same as the material that you would get in the test. Anyway, so as per the discharge plan, she's got chronic mental disorder, but that's not per a plan, though, is it? That's just a statement, so that's not per a discharge a plan. Psychiatric state is better now, fair, discharge, and I didn't take care. And I would have put this bit at the bottom. The patient needs it. She's required to follow up about the mechanic. Would appreciate if you could take over her care. Okay, so I would have probably put that at the bottom. So there's a few things we could omit to make it more concise and clearer at the start. But I think one of the main things here is the copy and paste job that you've done, or that the author's done, on several of the sentences and phrasing. Maybe it was too difficult to paraphrase, perhaps, but you seem to have managed it here, so why couldn't you do it there? And there was really no need for all this detail, because you mentioned that there she got visionary, auditory hallucinations, and then she reported it's basically saying the same thing kind of twice. So, not too bad, but I think it needs a little bit of work before you can get a B grade. I think it needs a little bit of attention. Okay, hope that helps. That's letter number 26. Depending on time, if anybody posts any more letters, nobody's posted anything for a few days. Last week, I didn't have time at all. Week before, I didn't have time. Far too many students. At the weekend, I don't usually bother again, because I'm out, I've got better things to do. So we'll see where my next video will be, number 27. Anyway, hope that helps.